The Silent Hunters. The Andromeda sector had known peace for over 2 centuries. Trade routes bustled with merchant vessels carrying goods between the 7 allied species. The Galactic Council maintained order through diplomacy rather than force. Most beings had forgotten that war could return so suddenly, so violently. The first colony to fall was Haven's Rest, a mining settlement on the edge of the Outer Rim. The attack came without warning. Massive warships appeared from hyperspace, their dark hulls bristling with weapons. They bore the crimson markings of the Vorthok Empire, a militant species that had remained in isolation for generations. Within hours, Haven's Rest was nothing but burning debris floating in space. Ambassador Thorn of the Galactic Council received the distress signal at his headquarters on Nexus Prime. The pale-skinned diplomat had spent his life preventing conflicts through negotiation. Now, staring at the tactical display showing the destroyed colony, he felt a chill run down his spine. "How many survivors?" he asked his aide, a young officer from the peaceful Lumian species. "None, sir." The Vorthok showed no mercy. They targeted evacuation ships as well as the colony itself. Before Thorn could respond, another alert flashed across the communication array. Then another. Within the span of 6 hours, 3 more colonies had gone dark. The pattern was always the same. Sudden appearance of Vorthok warships, complete destruction, no survivors. Fear spread through the sector faster than the attacking fleet itself. Merchant ships abandoned their routes. Colonies issued desperate pleas for protection. The Council's peacekeeping forces were scattered and outnumbered. They had been designed for policing, not warfare. It was during the 4th attack that something strange appeared on the scanners. The colony of New Geneva was under assault when sensors detected an unknown contact. The ship appeared as nothing more than a faint energy signature, barely visible even to the most advanced detection systems. "Identify that vessel," ordered Captain Crix of the Council's monitoring station. "Unable to comply, sir. The signature is too weak. It could be sensor malfunction." But the mysterious contact was moving with purpose, closing on the Vorthok fleet attacking New Geneva. The attacking ships suddenly began taking damage from an unknown source. Explosions rippled across their hulls as invisible weapons found their targets. Within minutes, the entire Vorthok squadron was retreating, their ships burning and crippled. The unknown vessel vanished as quickly as it had appeared, leaving behind no trace except the saved colony below. News of the Phantom Defender spread throughout the sector. Some called it a ghost ship. Others whispered of ancient technology awakening to protect the innocent. The Vorthok Empire, however, had a different reaction. They issued a sector-wide broadcast demanding that the coward ship reveal itself or face the full might of their armada. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the human battleship Defiant Dawn, watching the Vorthok transmission with cold eyes. She was a woman of medium height with graying hair pulled back in a military bun. Her uniform bore no insignia that other species would recognize. Humanity had remained hidden in the shadows of the galaxy for good reason. "They're getting desperate," observed commanders after Kane, her second in command. He was younger than the captain, with sharp features and calculating eyes that missed nothing. 5 failed attacks in a row tends to make bullies nervous. "Good," Elena replied. "Nervous enemies make mistakes. How are our stealth systems holding up?" "Operating at peak efficiency. The Heisenberg projectors are masking our energy signature perfectly. To their scanners, we're just another piece of space debris." Dr. Sarah Chen looked up from her science station. She was the ship's xenobiologist and had spent years studying alien psychology. "Captain, I've been analyzing Vorthok communication patterns. They're not just random raiders. This is a coordinated expansion campaign. They're testing the sector's defenses before launching a full invasion." Elena nodded grimly. Humanity had been watching the Vorthok Empire for decades from the shadows. While other species pursued peace and prosperity, humans had never forgotten the harsh lessons of their violent past. They had prepared for the day when war would return to the galaxy. "Any word from Earth Command?" Elena asked. Negative. We're operating under standing orders to protect civilian populations without revealing our presence. The policy of non-interference remains in effect. Elena understood the reasoning behind humanity's hidden role. Their species had joined the galactic community only 50 years ago, presenting themselves as peaceful explorers and traders. What they hadn't revealed was their true nature, a species forged by millennia of warfare, possessing military technology that surpassed anything else in the known galaxy. The deception was necessary. If other species knew the truth about human capabilities, fear would replace cooperation. The delicate balance of galactic peace would shatter. So humanity remained in the shadows, protecting trade routes and civilian populations while allowing others to believe they were just another peaceful species. Captain, incoming transmission from the Galactic Council, reported the communications officer. Ambassador Thorne's worried face appeared on the main screen. Unknown vessel, please respond. We know you're out there. The entire sector owes you a debt of gratitude for protecting our colonies. Elena gestured for the transmission to be cut. She couldn't risk revealing their identity. Not yet. The Vorthok response came 12 hours later. A massive armada emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the sector. Hundreds of warships arranged in battle formation, their combined firepower capable of reducing entire worlds to ash. At the center of the fleet was a dreadnought twice the size of any other vessel, its hull covered in weapons ports and shield generators. "By the Void," whispered Commander Kane. "That's the Vorthok Emperor's personal flagship, the World Breaker. Intelligence reports suggest it has the firepower to crack a planet's crust." "They're not taking any chances this time," Elena observed. "Full invasion force, ready to glass every colony in the sector if necessary." The Vorthok broadcast their ultimatum across all frequencies. Emperor Garkle himself appeared on screens throughout the sector, his reptilian features twisted with rage. "Cowards who hide in shadows. Reveal yourselves or watch as we reduce every world in this sector to atoms. You have 1 solar day to surrender." Panic spread through the colonies. Evacuation ships launched from every populated world, but there weren't enough vessels to carry everyone to safety. Millions of innocent beings faced certain death. Elena stood alone in her ready room, staring out at the stars. The weight of decision pressed down on her shoulders. Revealing humanity's true capabilities would change everything. The secret they had maintained for 5 decades would be exposed. But the alternative was genocide on a scale the galaxy hadn't seen in centuries. A soft chime indicated someone requesting entry. "Come." Commander Kane entered, his expression grim. "Captain, I've been running tactical simulations. Even with our advanced technology, the odds against that armada are overwhelming. We're 1 ship against hundreds." "I know," Elena replied quietly. "But we took an oath, Zephyr, to protect the innocent, regardless of the cost. There might be another way." Dr. Chen has been monitoring communications throughout the sector. Several species have ships in the area, hiding just like we are. If we could coordinate with them. Elena turned from the viewport, hope flickering in her eyes. "Show me." On the bridge, Dr. Chen displayed her findings. "Captain, I've detected at least 40 vessels from various species maintaining silent running throughout the sector. They're scared, but they're not running. Some of them have weapons that could make a difference in a coordinated assault. The problem is communication," Kane added. "Any transmission strong enough to reach them all would give away our position to the Vorthok." Elena studied the tactical display, her mind racing through possibilities. Humanity's greatest strength had always been their ability to adapt, to find solutions where others saw only obstacles. "Prepare a burst transmission on all frequencies," she ordered. "Maximum encryption, targeted to avoid Vorthok detection zones." "Captain, that's extremely risky. If they intercept it, they won't. Trust me." The message went out across the sector, a simple call to action. To all ships in hiding. The innocent need defenders. Rally point coordinates attached. Together, we can stop this slaughter. Response came faster than expected. One by one, ships began acknowledging the transmission. Traders armed their cargo haulers. Exploration vessels powered up their survey equipment for combat use. Even some of the Council's peacekeeping ships broke cover to join the growing resistance. But Alina knew it wouldn't be enough. The assembled fleet of volunteers was brave but outgunned. They needed an edge, something the Vorthak wouldn't expect. "Time until the ultimatum expires?" she asked. 6 hours, Captain. Alina smiled for the first time in days. It was a predator's smile, cold and dangerous. "Then it's time to remind the galaxy why humans survived every war we ever fought. Signal the fleet. All ships, prepare for combat." "And Zephyr?" "Yes, Captain. Drop the stealth. Let them see us coming." The Defiant Dawn's cloaking systems deactivated, revealing the sleek human battleship to every sensor in the sector. Its hull gleamed with advanced armor plating, and weapon ports glowed with barely contained energy. For the first time in 50 years, a human warship showed itself openly to the galaxy. The response was immediate. Vorthak sensors locked onto the vessel, and Emperor Garkel's furious roar echoed across communication channels. So the cowards finally show themselves. One ship. You dare challenge the might of the Vorthak Empire with one ship. Alina activated the communication array, her voice calm and steady as it broadcast across the sector. "This is Captain Alina Vasquez of the Earth defense ship Defiant Dawn. Emperor Garkel, you have attacked innocent civilians and threatened genocide against peaceful colonies. By the authority vested in me by the United Earth Government, I hereby demand your immediate withdrawal from this sector." The alien emperor's laughter was like the sound of grinding metal. "Earth, I have never heard of this pathetic world. You will burn like the rest, human." "Perhaps," Alina replied. "But first, you'll have to catch us." The trap was set. The Vorthak armada began moving toward the human ship, eager to destroy the vessel that had humiliated them. They had no idea they were flying directly into humanity's killing field. As the massive enemy fleet approached, Alina whispered a prayer for the innocent lives, depending on her crew's success. The galaxy was about to witness what happened when humanity stopped hiding in the shadows. The final battle for the Andromeda sector was about to begin. When humanity strikes back, the Vorthak armada moved through space like a predator sensing wounded prey. Hundreds of warships arranged in perfect formation, their weapons charging as they closed on the lone human vessel that dared to challenge their might. Emperor Garkel watched from his command throne aboard the Worldbreaker, savoring the moment before he would obliterate these arrogant humans. Captain Alina Vasquez stood calmly on the bridge of the Defiant Dawn, her crew working with practiced efficiency around her. Every person aboard understood that the next few hours would determine the fate of millions of innocent lives scattered across the sector's colonies. "Enemy fleet at 2 million kilometers and closing," reported Commander Kane. "They're maintaining formation, probably planning to surround us before opening fire." "Perfect," Alina replied. "That's exactly what we want them to do." "Dr. Chen, are our friends in position?" The science officer consulted her tactical display. "Affirmative, Captain. 43 vessels from 12 different species, all maintaining silent running at the coordinates we provided. They're scared but ready to fight." Alina nodded approvingly. The volunteers hiding throughout the sector represented the best of galactic civilization. Beings who chose to stand against tyranny despite overwhelming odds. They deserved better than to die in a hopeless battle, which was why she had no intention of letting that happen. "Signal all ships," she ordered. "Execute Protocol 7 on my mark." Protocol 7 was a human military tactic that no other species had ever seen. It required precise timing, absolute trust between ship commanders, and the kind of aggressive creativity that humanity had perfected during their violent history. Alina hoped their new allies could adapt quickly enough to survive what was coming. The Vorthak fleet continued its approach, confident in their numerical superiority. Emperor Garkel opened a communication channel, his reptilian features twisted with contempt. "Human vessel, this is your final chance to surrender. Kneel before the Vorthak Empire, and we will grant you a quick death." Elena activated her own transmitter, her voice carrying across space to every ship in both fleets. "Emperor, you're about to learn something important about humanity. We don't kneel, we don't surrender, and we never, ever abandon the innocent." She cut the transmission and turned to her crew. "All stations, prepare for combat. Weapons free, shields to maximum. Show them what Earth's children can do." The Defiant Dawn's true capabilities revealed themselves as its weapon systems came online. Plasma cannons extended from hidden ports along the hull. Missile tubes opened to reveal advanced projectiles that pulsed with exotic energy. Most impressively, the ship's main gun began charging, its barrel glowing with the contained fury of a miniature star. "Impossible," breathed Emperor Garkle as his sensors registered the human ship's firepower. No vessel that size should possess such weapons. His flagship's artificial intelligence provided a cold analysis. "Emperor, energy readings suggest this single ship could engage multiple heavy cruisers simultaneously. Our intelligence about human military capabilities appears to have been severely underestimated." "Then we destroy them quickly," Garkle snarled. "All ships, focus fire on the human vessel. Overwhelm their defenses through sheer volume of attack." The Vorthak Armada opened fire as one, hundreds of energy weapons lancing through space toward the Defiant Dawn. The attack was coordinated and devastating, more than enough firepower to vaporize a small moon. But the human ship was no longer where the enemy weapons were aimed. Elena had timed her maneuver perfectly, using humanity's superior engine technology to relocate just as the Vorthak fired. The massive barrage passed harmlessly through empty space, while the Defiant Dawn reappeared above the enemy formation. "Now," Elena commanded. The human ship's weapons spoke with devastating authority. Plasma bolts tore through Vorthak shields like paper, while guided missiles found their targets with uncanny accuracy. In the span of 30 seconds, the Defiant Dawn had crippled or destroyed 12 enemy vessels. But Elena's true masterstroke wasn't the direct attack. Throughout the sector, her signal reached the hidden volunteer fleet. "All ships, engage now. Hit them while they're confused." 43 vessels dropped their stealth and opened fire simultaneously. They attacked from every direction, turning the orderly Vorthak formation into chaos. Cargo haulers unleashed mining charges that tore through enemy hulls. Exploration ships used their high-powered sensors as weapons, overloading Vorthak electronics. Even converted passenger liners joined the assault, their civilian crews fighting with desperate courage. The psychological impact was as devastating as the physical damage. The Vorthak had expected to face one lone ship, not a coordinated fleet that seemed to appear from nowhere. Panic spread through their ranks as ship after ship reported damage from unknown attackers. "Impossible," roared Emperor Garkle. "How many ships do these humans have?" His tactical officer's voice trembled with fear. "Emperor, sensors show vessels from at least 12 different species. This isn't just a human fleet, it's a coalition." For the first time in centuries, doubt crept into Garkle's mind. The Vorthak Empire had conquered through intimidation and overwhelming force. They had never faced an enemy that fought with such coordination and tactical brilliance. Captain Elena Vasquez pressed her advantage ruthlessly. While the enemy struggled to reorganize, she implemented the second phase of Protocol 7. The Defiant Dawn began broadcasting targeting data to every ship in the volunteer fleet, using humanity's advanced sensors to identify weak points in Vorthak vessels. Cargo hauler Red Dawn, target the shield generator on the heavy cruiser at bearing 27 Mark IV. She transmitted. Explorer ship Wandering Star, that battleship's engines are vulnerable on the port side. The volunteer fleet responded with increasing effectiveness. Guided by human intelligence and coordination, their desperate attacks became surgical strikes. Ship after ship in the Vorthak Armada found themselves crippled by beings they had dismissed as harmless civilians. Dr. Chen monitored alien communications throughout the battle. "Captain, I'm detecting massive confusion in their command structure. Several squadron leaders are requesting permission to retreat." "Denied." Garkle's voice echoed across Vorthak frequencies. Any ship that flees will be destroyed by my personal guard. We finish this now. The Emperor's flagship moved forward, its massive weapons preparing to obliterate the human ship that had turned his perfect invasion into chaos. The World Breaker was 3 times the size of the Defiant Dawn, armed with planet-cracking weapons and protected by shields that could withstand a star's fury. Elena watched the massive dreadnought approach with calculating eyes. She had been saving humanity's most closely guarded secret for exactly this moment. Commander Kane, prepare the quantum lance. Her second-in-command's eyes widened. Captain, that weapon is still experimental. If it overloads, it won't. Dr. Chen, I need you to analyze that flagship's shield frequency. Find me a resonance point. The science officer's fingers flew over her console as the World Breaker closed to firing range. Got it. Shield resonance at 0.73 terahertz, but Captain, the window will only last for milliseconds. That's all we need. Targeting the quantum lance. Single shot. Maximum power. Emperor Garkle appeared on the communication screen one final time, his face twisted with rage. You have fought well, human, but this ends now. Witness the power that has conquered 100 worlds. The World Breaker's main weapon began charging, energy building to levels that could crack a planet's crust. But Elena was faster. The Defiant Dawn's most advanced weapon system came online, drawing power from the ship's entire fusion grid. Fire, she commanded quietly. The quantum lance was humanity's greatest military achievement, a weapon that manipulated spacetime itself. It didn't fire energy or matter, but rather created a focused distortion in reality. The beam struck the World Breaker's shields at exactly the moment Dr. Chen had calculated, finding the resonance frequency that turned the flagship's own defenses against it. The massive Vorthak dreadnought simply ceased. One moment it was preparing to fire, the next it was gone, erased from existence by a weapon that violated several laws of physics. Silence fell across the battlefield. Vorthak and volunteer ships alike stared at the empty space where their Emperor's flagship had been. The psychological impact was immediate and total. This is Acting Commander Vex of the Vorthak fleet, came a shaking voice over the communication channels. All ships, immediate retreat. Return to Imperial space at maximum speed. The surviving Vorthak vessels flood the battlefield, their perfect formation dissolved into panicked flight. In less than 2 hours, humanity had broken an armada that threatened to conquer the entire sector. Elena slumped in her command chair as the adrenaline of battle faded. Around the bridge, her crew began the process of standing down from combat readiness. They had won, but the cost would be enormous. Captain, Commander Kane said quietly, Earth Command is requesting immediate communication. Elena sighed. She had violated every protocol by revealing humanity's military capabilities. Her career was over, and possibly her freedom as well. But as she looked at the tactical display showing 43 volunteer ships celebrating their victory, she felt no regret. Dr. Chen looked up from her science station with a smile. Captain, I'm receiving transmission from every colony in the sector. They're calling us heroes. And from the Galactic Council, added the communications officer. Ambassador Thorne wants to meet with you as soon as possible. Elena stood and straightened her uniform. The galaxy would demand answers about humanity's hidden military strength. There would be fear, suspicion, and probably calls for restrictions on human activities. But there would also be recognition that when innocent lives were threatened, humanity had chosen to protect rather than conquer. Open a channel to all ships, she ordered. To every being who fought today, you have proven that courage and unity can overcome any tyranny. The Vorthak Empire learned today that the galaxy has defenders who will never bow to evil. As the volunteer fleet began dispersing, Elena realized that something fundamental had changed. Humanity's secret was out, but perhaps that wasn't entirely bad. The species of the galaxy had seen what humans could accomplish when they fought for justice rather than conquest. The Defiant Dawn set course for Nexus Prime, where Elena would face questions about humanity's role in galactic affairs. She didn't know what the future would bring, But she was certain of one thing. The galaxy would never again face its darkest hours alone. Behind them, the stars continued to shine, protected by beings who understood that some things were worth fighting for. The Vorthok Empire would remember this day, and so would every tyrant who thought the innocent had no defenders. Humanity had stepped out of the shadows, and the galaxy was safer for it.